Hello creative community, welcome to my Christmas wreath video. I appreciate you for stopping by. My name is Lizzie if you're new here, and I love to make things. And this time around I'm making Christmas wreaths, and I came up with some cool ideas, and I hope that you stick around the whole video for them, and I hope it sparks a creative idea in you. And I'm sending you much love in advance, and thank you again in advance for watching. Wreath number 1, what I'm going to do is reuse the wreath that I made for the 4th of July video, and I'm going to be taking all the clothespins off that one and reusing the wreath bar, and then I'm also going to be using some of those clothespins, but not all of them. I did buy a new pack of clothespins at the Dollar Tree, and I bought some ornaments and a Santa hat. The first thing I'm going to do for this one is pin all these clothespins on, and I didn't need any glue for this one, and I did leave a section of it bare without any clothespins because that is where I'm going to put my Santa hat. Once I got all the clothespins on the way I wanted, I then painted them all with acrylic white paint. I hot glued the Santa hat onto the bars, and then I hot glued the ornaments on, and that was it. Oh, I also hot glued the pom-pom onto the Santa hat. Wreath number 2 is pretty simple, and what I did is I got everything from the Dollar Tree. The tinsel I purchased last year from the Dollar Tree, and for this year I purchased the sign, the little elf legs, a elf ear headband, and this 18-inch wreath ring that I haven't seen before. It's a larger one than usual, which I thought was pretty cool, and that is all I used. The first step I took for this one was wrapping the tinsel around the ring. I didn't need any glue for this. I did try to make a knot at the beginning of it, but a little bit of it broke off, and so I think I ended up twisting the end, and I wrapped all 3 of them around this wreath, and it did make it look a lot fuller with 3 of these tinsels. Now I'm going to add the elf headband. At first I wanted to take it apart, but then I realized that that would be a little difficult. I might end up ripping the headpiece, so instead of ripping it apart, I decided to use zip ties, and then what I did was I zip tied the headband part to my wreath, and that seemed to work out just fine. Next, I tied my sign to the middle part of the wreath, and I used the original ribbon it came with, but you're probably going to want to use something different. I just used it because it's convenient. It does slide around a little bit by using the original ribbon, so you probably want to put a little bit of glue, or I probably want to put a little bit of glue later on, but I really don't want to make this a permanent thing, so yeah, it's fine. And after doing that, I then tied on my little elf legs at the bottom, and that was it. Wreath 3 is a gingerbread inspired one. Most of this is all from the Dollar Tree. The only thing that's not are the lights. Those are actually from Walmart. My first step for this one was taping that cookie sheet with, or is it a cookie plate? Either way. Anyways, I taped that to the wreath with some duct tape. Now I'm going to wrap Garland around the wreath. I didn't use a tie or glue for this. What I did was cut the garland in sections and twisted the ends of the garland to the wreath, then wrap them. So I just wrap them around. I'm always trying to think of new ways to do something, especially since I don't always have the material I need. And so I really didn't have anything to really tie this down, and I figured, just wrapping it around would just work just as fine, and it did, and it's a temporary thing, but it still works. Now for the jingle bells, what I did was I just laid them on top, positioned them where I wanted them, and then I hot glued each one on. And then for the battery pack, what I did was I taped it to the back of the wreath between the two bars. I wanted a large bow for this one, so I made one with the green mesh that I found at Walmart a little while back, and then a ribbon from the Dollar Tree. The way that I make a bow is basically the way that I tie a shoe. I basically make two bunny ears and then tie them together. I don't know how to make a bow, obviously, but I wanted this to have a big bow and 2 layers, and I put those 2 layers together by using an extra piece of ribbon. I cut ducktails at the bottom of my ribbon, and then I just hot glued my bow on. Now for the ornaments, I found these at the Dollar Tree and I thought they were so cute, and so I used the candy cane one to place on top of the bow, and I just hot glued that on. I added these little miniature kitchen utensils and I hot glued those on, but then I also had to use E6000 to really get them to stay on. I also hot glued that gingerbread ornament on, and that was it. And so this is how it looks at night when it's all lit up. Moving on to wreath number 4. So my vision for this one was originally having a bunch of toys on it and then making the toys look like they're exploding out of the stocking. I was going to use small toys that my kids don't play with anymore just to recycle them, but as soon as I brought all those small toys out, it was just like all of a sudden, oh, I want this, oh, look at this one, oh, where did this come from, like I don't remember this one. So in the end I was left with an even smaller amount of toys to work with, so the look I got in the end was very different from the original vision. But you know, it's okay. It came out pretty in the end anyways. So the first step for this one was painting the foam wreath all red. This foam wreath I got from the Dollar Tree, and the red acrylic paint I got from Walmart. For the stocking, I did stuff it with some foam just to make the stocking look fuller, and then I made some cuts at the top corners just so I can fit my foam wreath inside of it and I can hot glue it to the stocking. I wanted to use garland for this. I was going to wrap the garland around the wreath originally, but I didn't have enough garland for that, so I ended up hot gluing it to the top of my wreath. Next, I hot glued some ornaments on that I got from the Dollar Tree. I decided to add more elements to this that I thought would go well with this wreath that I'm forming. As for the toys that were still left standing, I ended up painting, or spray painting them, with this gold spray paint that I got from Walmart. And then I just hot glued them on, and I used E6000 to really get them to stay on, and then that was it. Wreath number 5 is the last one for this video, and it is inspired by the Home Alone wreath, and I always liked it. It's the one with the Santa head, and I wanted to make a version of that one. For this one, I went to Goodwill just to find Garland, and I ended up finding this wreath for $3.49. So thank you to the person who donated it because it's perfect. The way they made it too is pretty sturdy because they use wiring to tie the garland on. I wanted to make this one easy, so everything is going to be, other than this wreath, everything else is going to be from the Dollar Tree. To start this project, the first thing I did was cut the tails off of this bow because I'm going to reattach them, but in a way that is more fitting to the wreath because I didn't want them hanging down. I wanted them outward. Now I'm also going to detach all the decor stuff that's on the top of these bells, and with the bells I used twine to bring them together, and then I tied them to the wreath. I also tied the bow to the wreath. To get the Santa head on this, what I did was I used twine and a large needle, and I just ran that through the back of the hat. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. God bless, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!